So welcome to Paritranaya. In the previous two classes we were discussing about the PYQs of 2025, 24 and also a few questions of 2023 we have discussed. So where we had paused from the same point we shall begin. Okay. I think yesterday this was the last question that we discussed. Okay. So here we discussed that whenever the term definition, something has been defined in the constitution, so that term will be definitely, that statement will be wrong. Okay. So here, rather than focusing on the first statement, the second statement is very important, because here we have a term called as defines a term, and such kind of definition they do not exist in the constitution generally. Okay, generally, and once we eliminate this, so we are left with the answer, that is one only, one. So based on the PYQ itself, you will prepare the first statement. Next. By which of the following acts was the Governor General of Bengal designated as the Governor General of India? Through which act? Yes, Regulating Act. Okay. So Governor General of Bengal was designated as Governor General of India through Regulating Act. You have to go through which act? So you can go through the content. If you want, you can just go through content, because it's a very basics. Okay. 1833. Okay. So in the Regulating Act of 1773, what happened? The Governor of Bengal became Governor General of Bengal. Okay. See here, when it comes to the historical background of the constitution, there are so many acts, starting from Regulating Act to Government of India Act 1935 and then Indian Independence Act. But there are some which enjoy higher priority, especially 1909, 1919 and 1935. But prior to that, the other acts which are present. So we may not be interested in each and every line, but there are some curiosity what related information. Who was the first Governor General of India? William Bentinck. So he became the first Governor General of India through which act? Yes, Charter Act of 1833. Yes, please. So whatever the extra copies are there, you please give it back to me. So you have taken both the copies? Copies. Take it. Yes. So intentionally I left some space, okay, some space, so that if you need any information, extra information, you can add. So PYQ driven, okay, PYQ driven. I think one is polity, the other one is medieval history. Okay, so we have not discussed about any questions of medieval history. We have discussed about ancient history, we have discussed about modern history, and as part of modern history we have discussed about Indian national movement. Okay, Indian national movement. Okay. Okay. So Regulating Act, Pitt's India Act, all these acts, at least some superficial information we need to prepare. So who was the first Governor General of India?
William Bentinck.
William Bentinck. Through which act?
1833.
Yes, 1833. Who was the first Governor General of Bengal? Warren Hastings. Who was the first Viceroy of India? Okay. So this what switch in the naming. So when did it take place? Shift in the naming. 1858. Okay, 1858. So now Regulating Act of 1773. So can you recall important provisions of Regulating Act of 1773?
First step towards
Centralization. So the Regulating Act is considered as first step towards centralization. Then next, which is the final step towards centralization? 1833. So why do we call the 1833 Act as a final step towards centralization? What are its important provisions? Yes. Governor of Bengal was made the Governor General of India. Okay, this is one feature already we have seen. Which are the other features which point to the fact that it was a final step towards centralization? You are right. Governor of
Complete trade was
what?
monopoly or
No. If you have the content, you just go through. I want the important provisions. No, Crown took the control in 1858. Okay, direct control. There is a provision for which we call it as it's a final step towards centralization. So some of them were deprived of the law making power. Who are deprived of the law making power? Yes, governors of Bombay and Madras. Okay, hence we call it as what? Final step towards the centralization. So we should connect. See, initially when we begin with historical background, it will be difficult for us to connect. But after discussing parliament, after discussing the federal structure, after discussing all these things, when we come back to the previous first topic, historical background, now we should be able to connect. Okay. So at least if you are not able to go through each and every line, so that curiosity, first step towards centralization. Why do we call it as first step towards centralization? Which is the first final step towards what centralization? Which is the first step towards decentralization? 1861. Why do we call it as first step towards decentralization? Okay.
evolution of power.
See, these are the, I am just giving you points. Keep these things in your mind and then you'll start going through the content. Going through the content. So, Regulating Act, so 1770, the Pitt's India Act, which year? 1784. Can you recall one important provision of Pitt's India Act? Yes.
Board of control and court of
Board of Control and
court of
Court of Directors. Charter Act of 1833. Why it is important? Final step towards centralization. Okay. So prior to this, there is one more act, 1813. Why it is famous? Trade monopoly of East India Company was abolished. Okay, except for the trade in tea and trade with China. Okay. So just based on this question, you should be able to revise all that content. Okay, all that content. Act was the Governor General of Bengal designated as the Governor General of India. So who was the personality? First person? William Bentinck. Okay, William Bentinck. So in this context, first Governor General of Bengal. Next you will prepare what? Governor General of India, Viceroy of India. Okay, Viceroy of India. So all these things will prepare. Okay, all these things will prepare. According to the following statements, so again it is a 2023 question. According to the Constitution of India, the central government has a duty to protect states from internal disturbances. The Constitution of India exempts the states from providing legal counsel to a person being held for preventive detention. According to Prevention of Terrorism Act POTA 2002, confession of the accused before the police cannot be used as a evidence. Okay, cannot be used as a evidence. So very tricky question. Okay, so they have clubbed the static part with the current affairs part. Okay, with the current affairs part. And to address such kind of questions, so current affairs, especially the newspaper editorial article, they play a very important role. Okay, very important role. Because if you look at this POTA, Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002, so it has been already what? Repealed. Okay, long time back in 2002 or 3 it has been repealed. But now after 20 years again they ask the same question. So what may be the reason? Because in editorial article, in the context of, so another act which appears in the newspaper in the context of terrorism related activities, which is the law? UAPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. In that context, they will mention about POTA. Okay, the editorial articles. Okay, so generally the news related pages they will not mention, but in the editorial pages they will mention about POTA. Okay, so very, very tricky. Next, second option is also very tricky. The first one, according to, this is also tricky. Why? Because according to Constitution of India, the central government has a duty to protect states from internal disturbances. Okay, when we hear about these internal disturbances, we go to which topic? We go to emergencies. But presently, when it comes to national emergency, okay, so what are the grounds for declaration of national emergency? Armed rebellion, external aggression, War. Okay, war, external aggression or armed rebellion. So this term armed rebellion was initially present in the constitution. It is not present in the constitution. Okay, through which amendment, which term was replaced by which term?
42nd.
42nd amendment, 44th amendment. Yes, internal disturbance was replaced by armed rebellion. Okay, armed rebellion. Now, in that context, when you read this, so it is duty of the central government to protect states from internal disturbances. So, what will we come to a conclusion generally? Now, internal disturbance term itself is not there. So, they have just introduced this question, what, to trap us. Okay, to trap us. But that is not the case. So, this is related to emergency itself. But the grounds of declaration of what precedence rule. So, sorry, national emergency, it has been replaced by what? One of the provision has been replaced by internal disturbance, has been replaced by what? Armed rebellion. But at the same time, in article number 355, there is a provision. They say that whenever so state is facing any kind of problem, it is a responsibility of the center to protect the state. Okay, so government has a duty to protect the state from internal disturbance. So these things you will not find in emergency. This we will find in what? Center state relations. When we read the center state relations, that has been explicitly mentioned. It is a responsibility of the center to protect the states from internal disturbance. It means the term internal disturbance also exists in the constitution. The term armed rebellion also exists in the constitution. But in the context of emergency, in the context of national emergency, so we cannot declare a national emergency based on internal disturbance. We can declare a national emergency based on armed rebellion. But at the same time, there is another provision that the center has to protect the states from internal disturbance. So first statement is correct. Okay, correct. So Vijayalakshmi, slightly move this side. Okay. Next, when it comes to second statement, the Constitution of India exempts the states from providing legal counsel to a person being held for preventive detention. Very, very what complicated topic. So it can be related to which article of the Constitution? 22, which deals with the detention and all. So here, when it comes to preventive detention, okay, preventive detention. What is the opposite of preventive detention? Yes. Yes. What is the word? PUNI? Okay, punitive or punitive. Okay, so something we'll use like that. So preventive detention. So in case of what punitive, what we'll do? Someone has committed a mistake or there are allegations, then we'll arrest. Okay, but here in case of preventive detention, just anticipating that he may involve in such kind of activities, so we'll arrest them and we'll keep them in jail. Okay, preventive detention. So here it's a bit very complex. In article number 22, when you read that multiple times, then you'll get an understanding. So for punitive detention, if a person has been arrested, okay, a person has been arrested, so whether he should be provided any kind of counsel, whether government has to provide counsel, okay, means here it has to facilitate and what some lawyer and all those things, the government has to provide the facility. But in case of preventive detention, exempts the states. It is not compulsory for the government to provide the legal counsel. Okay, legal counsel. So this is very confusing. Now because of this option, you just don't focus too much on article number 22, because 2023 question paper it was completely different. Okay, very different. Now if you try focusing on what 22, you will not easily understand the provision. Okay, understand the provision. Now for time being, you just understand, because already answer key has been released. So what is the answer key for this? No, only 2 or only 3?
Only 2.
Only 2. So it is 192, not 3, because as per the POTA Act, so POTA Act was considered as very severe, because the confession which was made before the police officer, it was admitted as an evidence in the court of law. Okay. So next, out of curiosity, what you can do is, apart from POTA, are there any other laws which accept the what testimony given in front of the police officers? So confession before the of the accused before the police cannot be used as an evidence. In POTA Act, it can be used as evidence. Okay. Apart from POTA Act, is there any other act wherein the confession before the police officer can be used as an evidence? Yes, TADA Act. How about UAPA? No, under UAPA, so there is no such. So if confession before the police officer cannot be used as an evidence. Okay, cannot be used as an evidence. So here you will become perfect with the first statement. Okay, so third statement, again curiosity driven, 1 or 2 acts you will find out. Second statement, just focus on the statement. So Constitution of India exempts the states. It is not compulsory for the state to provide the legal counsel, but in case of punitive detention, it is compulsory for the state to provide the legal legal counsel. Okay, legal counsel. Third statement is wrong. Confession of the accused before the police cannot be. Yes.
ಈ repeal ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ sir. UAP Act replace ಮಾಡಿ quota act ಗೆ UAP Act.
No, no, we will not connect like that. Okay, it's the old act. As per the old act itself, whether the confession before the police officer is allowed, yes, it is allowed. Here they have mentioned no, hence it is wrong. Okay, because UAPA Act is different from POTA Act. Both of them are replacement is different. If they are amended, then that would have been different. Okay, so they are not replaced what a POTA Act by UAPA. UAPA existed well before the POTA. POTA is not replaced by UAPA. Okay, UAPA already existed, but some of the provisions of the POTA were included as part of UAPA.
Sir, ಅದನ್ನ tweak ಮಾಡಕ್ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ same question ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ
Again, it will be wrong. It has been repealed not in 2023. It is repealed in 2020, what, 2 or 4. Okay, 2. At that time it has been repealed. But why it has appeared? Because generally when they write an article about UAPA in the newspaper, so in the context of terrorists, and that article itself they mentioned about the what in the historical background, which were the stringent laws that existed in India. They may mention about TADA, they may mention about what POTA. Okay, from that context they have framed the question. Even now, if the question appears again, it will be what wrong. Now, if the question, if the option, if they change according to POTA, confession of the accused before the police can be accepted as used as an evidence. True or false? True. Okay, no doubt the act has been repealed, but as per the provisions of the act, so whether they could be used as evidence in the court of law, yes, it could be used as evidence in the court of law. Okay, in the court of law. Consider the following statements in respect of the election to the President of India. So, in the previous 24 and 25 also probably we came across some indirect questions related to the election of the President. Okay, so election of the President, again it is a very important from exam point of view. So, what's the question? The members nominated to the either house of the Parliament or the legislative assemblies of states are also eligible to be included in the electoral college. So, first statement, we will not look into the options whether the first statement is right or wrong. Wrong? Why it is wrong? The members of the nominated to either house of the Parliament or the legislative assemblies of the states are also eligible. So here the eliminating point is nominated, because only elected members of where? Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha, legislative assembly of states. How about legislative councils? No. Okay, so first statement is wrong. Now the second is very tricky. This question itself is very tricky. Higher the number of elective assembly seats, higher is the value of the vote of each MLA of that state. The value of vote of each MLA of Madhya Pradesh is greater than that of Kerala. The value of the vote of each MLA of Puducherry is higher than that of Arunachal Pradesh, because the ratio of the total population to the total number of elective seats in Puducherry is greater as compared to Arunachal Pradesh. So, okay, now after the question is over, very easily we can try to find a solution, but in the examination hall it's a very tough question. Okay, very tough question. Why? Because first statement will be able to come to a conclusion. But the options are like only how many are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, all 4. Now, if you look at the second one, higher the number of elective assembly seats, higher is the value of vote of each MLA of that state. Okay. Now, previously, before this question appeared in 2023, we did not have that kind of content. But now, what we have done, we have updated the content to fit the exam's demand. Okay. So, what we have done, we have arranged the states in what? If you look at what the first state is, starting from A, Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh. When we go on listing the state, what happens? So probably in the notes it is available or not, I don't know, but in the class we have discussed. Okay, we'll arrange in what, which are alphabetical order: Arunachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and so on. Okay, so on, and also correspondingly, what we'll add? MLAs, total number of MLAs, and next MLA vote value. Okay, so when we make this list. So whether in this list, whenever the number of MLAs increase, what happens to corresponding vote value of the MLA? Generally, when the number of MLAs increase, the vote value also increases. The vote value also generally increases. But in some peculiar cases, when the number of MLAs increase, okay, when the number of MLAs increase, the corresponding vote value will not increase. Okay, so that encounter first time happens where? In the classroom we have discussed. Between Jharkhand and Karnataka, and from Karnataka and Kerala. Somewhere we come across Madhya Pradesh as well. Kerala and Madhya Pradesh. Okay. Just see, look at the question, how they are set. Now, if the same question, if they are twisted like this, how? The value of vote of each MLA of Arunachal Pradesh is greater than that of Kerala. If he had posed such kind of question, then the approach would be very difficult. Why? Because then you have to retain the information pertaining to the total number of MLAs in each and every state and also the corresponding vote values. But here, if you look at the question, so how much time he might have taken to set this question, I don't know. Okay, so he has given a lot of thought process. So alphabetical order when you arrange, then generally as the number of MLAs increase, the vote value also increases. But this trend will break when we move from Jharkhand to Karnataka, from Karnataka to Kerala, Kerala to Madhya Pradesh. Okay, Kerala to Madhya Pradesh. So if you only focus on these states, then it would be beneficial. Okay, so Kerala and Madhya Pradesh. Now what happens? So in Madhya Pradesh, the number of MLAs will increase. But what happens to vote value of one MLA? It decreases. Okay, it decreases. So from this we can conclude, higher the number of elective assembly seats, higher is the value of vote of each MLA of that state. This is false. Okay, if this was true, then it would have remained true for what, A to Z, all the states. Okay, but this is not true. So hence second one is wrong. The value of vote of each MLA of Madhya Pradesh is greater than that of Kerala. Okay, so the value of vote of each MLA of Madhya Pradesh is greater than that of Kerala. True or false? False. Okay, false. Now, because this is false, this statement will also become false. Because first time we encounter the order in JK, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh. So because of this pattern, we will conclude that the second statement is also wrong. Okay, second statement is also wrong. Now coming to fourth statement. The value of vote of each MLA of Puducherry is higher than that of Arunachal Pradesh. Now here is not expecting us to verify whether the first part is right or wrong. The value of vote of each MLA of Puducherry is more than that of Arunachal Pradesh. Whether this statement is right or wrong. This statement is not expecting us to verify itself. He just wants us to verify whether the second part is right or wrong. Okay, because ratio of total population to total number of elective seats in Puducherry is greater as compared to Arunachal Pradesh. So here we need to recall the formula related to what? President selection. Okay, so how is the vote value of an MLA calculated? Total population to total number of elective seats. So already Puducherry has more vote value as compared to Arunachal Pradesh MLAs. This is correct. The second part is correct or not? Yes, the definition is correct. Okay, the definition is correct. So based on this, what we can conclude? One is correct, and next? Okay, only two are correct. But this only one, which one is that? Only fourth one. All the others are wrong. Now it is very easy because already we have come out of that comfort zone. Now we are into the comfort zone. In the examination, this question, it is not easy. It's very, very tough question. Okay, very tough question. Nobody would have even thought in that direction. Okay, but that person who has set this question, so we have to really appreciate, because he would have asked in any other fashion how he has gathered the data and how he has framed the option. So we have to appreciate. So that's why the reason behind the cutoff coming from 92 to 75 is this. Okay, so drastically the cutoff falling from 92 to 75. So it means it's a gap of almost around 17 marks. Okay, 17 marks. So this indicates the type of question paper which came in 2023. Okay, 2023. But in 2024 again they changed the pattern. Okay, it was relatively easy as compared to 2023. Okay, relatively easy. So here, if a similar kind of question now appears, will you be preparing for each and every state? No. For which state will prepare? Jharkhand, Karnataka, Kerala, and Madhya Pradesh. Okay, in these four states, what happens? If now in the next year, if at all they frame a similar kind of question, what they can frame? They can frame like this: the value of vote of each MLA of Karnataka is greater than that of Jharkhand. True or false? The value of vote of each MLA of Jharkhand is the value of each vote of MLA of Karnataka is greater than that of Jharkhand. Hardly four values we have. Again you are getting confused. That's why we have listed, right? Jharkhand, Karnataka, Kerala, what? Madhya Pradesh. If I make a statement, the value of vote of each MLA of Kerala is greater than that of Karnataka.
True, sir.
See, only for four states you want to look at the values. Now just imagine the situation when you are sitting in the examination hall. So at least these four states will become perfect. Jharkhand, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh. Now I will make a statement like this. The value of vote of each MLA of Madhya Pradesh is greater than that of Karnataka.
False.
Yes, they are equal. Now the value of vote of each MLA of what? Karnataka is more than that of Kerala. False. Okay. So at least these basic things, at least for these four states will become perfect. If a similar kind of question appears in the next year, then we will be able to eliminate. Okay, eliminate. Otherwise, what? Will not be able to do it. So we cannot exhaustively prepare for each and every state the corresponding number of MLAs and the vote value of each MLA. Okay. Now the value of MLA's vote value changes from state to state. Okay, so this was one of the options probably set in 2019 or 18. Okay, 19 or 18. So the Rajya Sabha MP vote value and the Lok Sabha MP vote value, both of them are same in presidential election.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What's the value? 708. Okay, 708. Okay. So next, the Constitution Day is celebrated on 26th November every year to promote constitutional values among the citizens. Yes. On 26th November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft Constitution of India. Yes. So, drafting committee, when was it framed? 1946. Okay, 1946. On 26 November 1949, what did they do? Adopted the constitution. How many members signed on it? 284. Okay, 284. So this drafting committee consisted of how many members? 7 members. Who was the chairman? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Who are the other members? Yes. T.T. Krishnamachari, K.M. Munshi, Sadadullah. Okay. Next. Iyengar. Which Iyengar? Krishnamachari. Next. Yes. Yes. Madhavan. Okay. So here drafting committee is important. When it comes to making of constitution, when we have discussed, there are so many other committees. So even if we ignore the other committees, even if we do not accord much importance to other committees, but drafting committee is very important. Okay. Even if you repeatedly write it and practice it also, it's okay. So chairman is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and we also need to know about the other members of the drafting committee. Okay, drafting committee. So second statement is wrong. So first one is correct. Okay, first one is correct. So here, based on this, you will prepare of what? Making of the constitution. Okay, making of the constitution. So again, keeping this exam's demand in mind, you will prepare. Okay, at least in this question, wherever the space is available, you will write about that what? Members of the drafting committee. Okay, members of the drafting committee. Okay, so with reference to home guards, consider the following statements. Okay, so we'll include it in the what? Current affairs kind of thing. Now we'll just ignore it. It is not pure polity. Okay, this is also current affairs related thing. With reference to India, consider the following statements. Okay, action and the act under which it is covered. So this we'll be discussing later on. Okay, we'll be discussing later on. So again, based completely on what? Current affairs. Next, pursuant to report of H.N. Sanyal Committee, the Contempt of Courts Act 1971 was passed. Next, the Constitution of India empowers the Supreme Court and the High Courts to punish for the contempt of themselves. The Constitution of India defines civil contempt and criminal contempt. In India, the Parliament is vested with the powers to make laws on contempt of court. Contempt of court. So it's a 2023 question or 22? 22 question. Okay. So relatively the nature of question has changed. Because 23 and 22, when you look at the questions, so the nature has changed. It's relatively easy. Okay, relatively easy. Now, pursuant to report of H.N. Sanyal, we are not aware. We are not aware of this. Okay, so we'll pause it. We'll come to second option. The Constitution of India empowers the Supreme Court and High Courts to punish for the contempt of themselves. So clearly during the discussion of Supreme Court as well as High Court, we have seen the powers of Supreme Court as well as High Court. So what they can do, they have the power to punish for the contempt of court themselves as well as the courts below them. Okay, courts below them. So second statement is right. Now the Constitution of India defines civil contempt and criminal contempt. Okay, so whether definition exists. So as we already discussed, whenever they say definition exists, then definition does not exist. So civil contempt and criminal contempt. So these terms are present in which act? Contempt of Court Act. Okay, so this third C is wrong. Okay, C is wrong. Next, in India, the Parliament is vested with the powers to make laws on contempt of court. So Parliament has what? Huge power when it comes to making of laws. After making laws, it can be subjected to judicial review. Okay, Supreme Court and High Court can study it and declare whether the law is valid or invalid. That can happen. But whether the Parliament is empowered, yes, Parliament is empowered to make any kind of laws. Okay, so fourth one is correct. Okay, fourth one is correct. Now, if you look at the option, so what's the answer? 1, 2. So what was the first? Okay, so see, first we were not aware that much, but 2 should be part of the answer. B should be 2 should be part of the answer. Next, 4 should be part of the answer. Okay, 2 and 4, which are part of the answer. Only one such option, that is B. Okay, that is B. Now, if you look at 1, so even though we are not aware about H.N. Sanyal committee, but still we arrived at the correct answer. Now, in these kind of questions, if the options were set like this, how many of the above are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, all 4, then it will be difficult. Okay, because we will be knowing about Contempt of Courts Act, because Contempt of Court Act also it appears in Lakshmikant and also in notes as well, but there is no mention of H.N. Sanyal committee. Okay, Sanyal committee. So in these questions, such kind of questions, probably UPSC may not set such kind of options. Only 1, only 2, all 3, such kind of options. Okay, such kind of options. So in this context, what you will revise? Supreme Court and High Court. Okay, contempt of what court related things you will revise. Okay, you will revise. So civil contempt, criminal contempt. What is the example of a civil contempt? What is contempt? Being critical of the Supreme Court and High Court, this is called as what? Contempt. So how do you differentiate? Can you give me an example to differentiate a civil contempt from criminal contempt? Yes. Okay, when you are being summoned or when the direction is being given and if you do not follow it, it's an example of a civil contempt or criminal contempt? Civil contempt. So when you write an article criticizing the Supreme Court or High Court, it will be a civil or criminal? It will be a criminal contempt. Okay, it will be a criminal contempt. Okay, so again you can look for, see, based on this they can frame a question, they may give you examples and they may ask whether it is an example of criminal contempt or civil contempt. Okay, civil contempt. Okay, this question is what you are asking, government law officers and bar councils. Okay, bar councils and government, again it is not part of traditional polity book, but again important because repeatedly in the newspaper it appears about what bar council and what law officers and all. So for time being we'll pause it, later on we'll come. Okay, we'll discuss this question. Consider the following statements. A bill amending the constitution requires a prior recommendation of the President of India. Okay, so constitutional amendment bill, does it require the prior recommendation? No. Which bill requires prior recommendation? Money bill. Okay, how about ordinary bill? No. How about finance bill 1? Yes. How about finance bill 2? No. Okay, so here we'll write it. So prior recommendation of the President is required for money bill, for finance bill 1. Apart from these, are there any other bills which require the prior recommendation of the President? States reorganization. Yes, good. Next. So what you will do, you will search such, which are the other important bills which require the prior recommendation of the President. Okay, prior recommendation of the President, and you will just list it, whatever the free spaces I have given there, you will just mention, you will list them there, and subsequently you will revise those things. Okay, rather than going through the entire book once again, at least you will prioritize the things and you will focus on those aspects. Okay, those aspects very important. Okay, very important. When a constitutional amendment bill is presented to President of India, it is obligatory for the President of India to give his or her assent. It's obligatory. Okay, in case of constitutional amendment bill, it is obligatory. Now similarly, what you will do, you will revise. What happens in case of money bill, whether it is obligatory or President? What are the options available? Either he can ratify or he can reject. Can he return? No. Okay. Next, when it comes to ordinary bill, He can ratify, he can reject, he can return. How about Finance Bill 1? Finance Bill 2?
Same as money bill, sir.
You can return, reject, and
Return, right? All the three things he can do.
Yes.
In case of Finance Bill 2,
Yes.
in case of Finance Bill 2, so President's what? Consent is required at the consideration stage. So all those things will include here. Means at the end moment you do not have time to go through the entire notes. At least these things you should be able to revise in a faster manner. Because if you repeatedly observe the pattern, they are focusing on the same aspects, but the way the questions are being, the options are being framed, they are being twisted. So those things we have to understand. Okay, we have to understand. So second one is true or false. In this context, it is true. Okay. Okay. A constitutional amendment bill must be passed by both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha by a special majority, and there is no provision for joint sitting. Yes, it is true. Okay. So there is no provision for joint sitting. Now, sometimes in the examination, because of overthinking, because of overstudying, it will cause confusion. What is the confusion? A constitutional amendment bill must be passed by the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha by a special majority, and there is no provision for joint sitting. So unnecessarily you raise a question. They are not mentioned about the legislature of half of the states. Okay. See here, they are generically they can take a stand. So when it comes to constitutional amendment, there are some constitutional amendments which can happen through special majority of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha only. And there are some constitutional amendments which require special majority of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha plus consent of half of the states. Okay, so now you unnecessarily not complicate yourself. So they are speaking about some kind of constitutional amendments which require majority of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, and in any case of constitutional amendment, we do not require what in case of what misunderstanding, there is no provision of joint sitting. Okay, there is no provision of joint sitting. Now here itself you will write. Then the provision of joint sitting is possible in which all kind of bills? In case of money bill, it is possible? No. In case of ordinary bill, it is possible? Yes. In case of finance bill 1, it is possible?
Finance bill 2 is
You have to tell me, because I don't know. A very long time back I read, now you have to tell me whether it is right or wrong. In case of finance bill 1, whether joint sitting is possible or not. In case of finance bill 2? Okay. Now, joint sitting, who can preside joint sitting? Speaker. When can we call a joint sitting? When there is a disagreement between the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So when do we call that the disagreement has arisen? When the Lok Sabha has passed the bill and the Rajya Sabha rejects it. True or false? When the Rajya Sabha has passed it and Lok Sabha has rejected it. When Lok Sabha has passed and Rajya Sabha has kept quiet for 6 weeks.
6 months.
6 weeks or 6 months? So when do we come across a provision of 6 weeks? In case of ordinance. Okay. So all these things you'll write here. You'll revise. You'll become perfect. Okay. You'll become perfect. Okay. So joint sitting. So what? Constitutional amendment bill, money bill, ordinary bill, finance bill 1, finance bill 2, all these things. Even on day-to-day basis also, if you revise also, there is no issue. Okay. There is no issue.
Sir, finance bill 1 and finance bill 2 and more ಮಾಡಬಹುದು sir. President reject, rectify, return more ಮಾಡಬಹುದು.
You have to verify.
ಆಗಲೇ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ కదా sir.
You just go through it. You just go through it once, okay? After that, again, we shall have a discussion. Because now we will not discuss. If there is any confusion, even after going through the notes or the content, then we shall have a discussion. I am just giving you how you are supposed to prepare. When you look at the question paper, what are the various dimensions that we have to think? Okay, that we have to think. Because now we cannot go through each and every line. In the last moment, hardly we have around what? 95 days. And in between, we also have a Holi, right? So, taking all these things into account, effectively, we have only 90 days. So, 90 days, if you split for every subject, we get around 10 days. For every subject, we will get around 10 days. And among these, at least 2 days we have to devote for what? CSAT. Okay, effectively. So, in that fashion, if we calculate, then for every subject, we will get around 7 to 8 days. Okay. In these 7 to 8 days, how much you are going to spend on polity? How much you are going to spend on history? Again, in history, when it comes to modern, medieval and ancient history, which all things you will focus? Which one you will prioritize? Geography, economy. So, we shall take the real facts into account. So, let us not be in that fantasy world that I want to what everything be what below the sun that is part of the syllabus. So, I should mug it up. It's not possible. So, in these 3 months, okay, what are the best approach we can build? So, based on that approach, we should be able to crack the examination. Okay, that's it. For which one? Finance bill 1 and 2. Joint sitting is not possible? Possible for both 1 and 2. So, yesterday I mentioned it during the discussion. What you will do is, you will at least bring the common features of finance bill 1 and 2. There are some features which are different for Finance Bill 1 and Finance Bill 2, but there are some features which are common to both Finance Bill 1 and Finance Bill 2. Now it comes to introduction of Finance Bill 1. Okay, of introduction. So whether Finance Bill 1 should be introduced only in Lok Sabha? Whether Finance Bill 2 should be introduced only in Lok Sabha? False. So this is not a common feature. Okay. So now you'll focus on the common feature. Whether a joint sitting can be called for both the bills?
Yes.
Yes. So it's a common feature. You list it. Okay, we list it. So again 2022, the Constitution of India classifies the ministers into 4 ranks. Okay, Cabinet Minister, Minister of State with independent charge, Minister of State and Deputy Minister. So again it's a tricky question itself. So in Constitution, do we have a term called as Council of Ministers? Yes, we have a term called as Council of Ministers. Do we have a term called as Cabinet? So initially the term Cabinet was not present. Okay, but the term Cabinet was introduced in the Constitution through some amendment. Which is amendment? 1944. Okay, again exact amendment name might not be important, but the term Cabinet is present. Okay, initially it was not present, but later on it was introduced, the term Cabinet. But the other terms, Ministers of State, Minister of State and Deputy Minister, so these things are not present in the Constitution. So the Constitution of India classifies the ministers, so this is wrong. Okay, so here in the Constitution it does not go for classification, it only mentions about Council of Ministers and Cabinet. So which one is a larger group, Council of Ministers or Cabinet? Council of Ministers. Okay, so day-to-day activities are carried out by whom? Council of Ministers or Cabinet? Okay, Cabinet. The total number of ministers in the Union government, including the Prime Minister, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members in the Lok Sabha. True or false? Okay, so this limitation was introduced through which amendment? 91st Amendment. So this amendment number is also important. This amendment number is also important. Whether this restriction applies only to the Parliament or this restriction also applies to the state at the state level as well. State level as well. Okay. So the number of ministers, including the Chief Minister, should not exceed 15% of the total strength of the Legislative Assembly of the state. But again, are there any exceptions? If the state is small and consists of lesser number of members, are there any exception? Can you give me an example? List the exception. Yes. So one famous example is Goa. So what you can do is you can make out the list of states. Okay, list out the example states where there is an exception. Okay, where there is an exception. It means there the number of ministers can be more than 15% of the total strength of the Legislative Assembly. Okay, so you just make a list. What indicated Goa. Are there any other states apart from Goa? Yes, only Goa. Pondicherry, it's a union territory. Delhi, it's a union territory. Okay, that you have to verify. Okay, only after verifying you let me know which one is correct. So whether it is Sikkim, whether it is again you will make separately. Pondicherry you list separately. Pondicherry and Delhi are under union territories, and here Goa is a state. Similarly, we are interested in any other state. Okay, any other state. So you just make a list and you will revise. Okay, you revise. Okay, which of the following are the exclusive powers of Lok Sabha? To ratify the declaration of emergency, to pass a motion of no confidence against Council of Ministers, to impeach the President of India. Okay, the first one, to ratify the declaration of emergency. So now they are speaking about which kind of emergency? National emergency or President's rule or any kind of emergency. Okay, so here they are speaking about national emergency itself, because for state emergency we will use the term what? President's rule, and when it comes to financial emergency we use, so whenever generally we use the term called as emergency, we are speaking about national emergency itself. But now if you look at national emergency, state emergency or President's rule or financial emergency, whether in all the 3 cases parliamentary approval is required or not? Okay, only Lok Sabha approval is required or Rajya Sabha approval is required? Both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. So even if you consider it as a national emergency or President's rule or financial emergency, in all the 3 cases, so who has to approve it? Both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha or only Rajya Sabha? Both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So the first statement, so exclusive power of Lok Sabha to ratify declaration of emergency is false. Okay, false. Now in this context, we'll just revise. So national emergency. Okay, national emergency. So who has to ratify it? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Within how many days?
1 month.
National emergency 1 month. President's rule
2 months.
2 months. Financial emergency 2 months. So once the national emergency has been declared, it will continue to remain in force for how many days or how many months?
1 year.
6 months. 6 plus 6.
Yes.
Every 6 months is released.
So again I will get confused. Okay. When a national emergency has been approved by the parliament, it will continue for 6 months. Okay. It will continue for 6 months. How about for president's rule?
3 years.
That is also 6 months.
6 months.
President's rule is also 6 months. How about financial emergency? That is also 6 months.
No, sir.
In case of financial emergency, what happens? Once you declare, it will continue indefinitely. So in case of national emergency, do we require approval for extension beyond 6 months? Yes. In case of president's rule, do we require approval for extension beyond 6 months? Yes. Okay. Now, in case of national emergency, it can be extended how many times? N number of times. In case of president's rules, how many times it can be extended? Maximum up to a period of 3 years. Okay, 3 years. Next, who can revoke national emergency? President. No Lok Sabha. President will revoke national emergency. Who will revoke president's rule? President. Who will revoke financial emergency? President. Okay. In these 3 cases, somewhere there is a special provision wherein one house can force the president to what? Revoke the emergency. So in which case? In national emergency, in president's rule or financial emergency? In case of national emergency, which house can force president? Lok Sabha. So Lok Sabha has to pass a resolution with what kind of majority? Special majority or simple majority? Yes? Simple majority. When it comes to revoking, Lok Sabha will pass a resolution with simple majority. Okay, simple majority. Next, Lok Sabha will pass it with simple majority. So now, if the Lok Sabha is in session, okay, they'll give a notice to whom? For calling a special sitting for discussing the revocation. Speaker. When Lok Sabha is not in session, President. Okay, President. Now, when it comes to approval, national emergency has to be approved by both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha with what kind of majority? President's rule has to be approved by what kind of majority? Simple majority. Next, financial emergency? Simple majority. So, in case of President's rule and financial emergency, whether Lok Sabha can force the President to revoke? No, there is no such provision. Okay, there is no such provision. Next, suspension of fundamental rights is associated with all the 3 types of emergencies. In which kind of emergency we have? National. In national emergency, all the articles will get automatically suspended. Which article will get automatically suspended? Article number 19. Which 2 articles can never be suspended? 20 and 21. Okay. During which emergency state government is dismissed? Yes, during President's rule. In case of a national emergency, state government continues to exist. Yes. So they will work as per the directions of whom?
Center.
Okay, center. Okay. So during national emergency, state legislature can make laws on the state list subject.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It can.
During national emergency, state legislature can make laws on the state list subject. True or false? During national emergency, parliament can make laws on the state list subject. True. In case of inconsistency, which one will prevail? Center's law will prevail. During president's rule, state legislature can make laws on the state list subjects. No, either it will be dissolved or it will be suspended. So there is no chance of state legislature making the law. Okay. So during president's rule, who has the power to make laws? Parliament has the power, but Parliament can delegate this responsibility to whom? President. Okay, President or any other person appointed by President. So in this fashion, you will revise the entire emergency provisions. Okay, emergency provisions. So they ratify the declaration of emergency it's not the exclusive power. To pass the no confidence motion, it's exclusive because Rajya Sabha cannot use the no confidence motion. Okay, no confidence motion. To impeach the President of India. Okay, to impeach the President of India. So who can initiate the proceedings? Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? Either house, either Lok Sabha or Raj Sabha. To initiate the proceedings, minimum how many members support is required?
100.
One fourth member support is required. To pass a motion, what majority is required? Special majority or two-third majority? Two-third majority of the total strength of the house in both Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. So how many days advance notice has to be given? 14 days. Okay. To impeach the President of India, it's not the exclusive power because Raj Sabha also enjoys equal power. Hence the answer is
2 only.
okay, 2 only. Okay, 2 only.
Recently, presidents were removed from Manipur.
Yes. Just a minute. Yes. So you mentioned about Manipur, right? Recently, President's rule was revoked. Okay. So in that context, there was recently Mantesha raised this question. After the President's rule has been revoked. Okay, revoked. So the government was dismissed. Okay, dismissed. Whether they have to take oath once again or without taking oath itself, they can continue. Once again, they have to take oath. Okay, there is a very important aspect that we have to understand. Okay, so once the government has been dismissed, even if the same person becomes chief minister again he has to take the oath. Okay, he has to take the oath. So sometimes they may frame a question like this. So once the president's rule has been revoked, so compulsorily they have to go for election.
No, sir.
Because the legislative assembly may be either dissolved or it may be dismissed or suspended. If it is suspended, then it can resume back. But if it has been dissolved, then compulsorily election has to take place. Okay, election has to take place. So with reference to anti-defection law in India, consider the following statements. Okay. So for the present batch students, we have not discussed specifically, but anyhow, it's important. The law specifies that a nominated legislature cannot join any political party within 6 months of being appointed to the house. Okay, so very important. So the law specifies that a nominated legislator cannot join any political party within 6 months of being appointed to the house. He can join. So for till what time he can join?
Till 6 months.
Till 6 months. Okay, so any person who has been nominated, okay, who has been nominated. So now if you look at center, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, so the provision of nominated members exists in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha presently? Only Rajya Sabha. So person who has been nominated, can he join a political party? Okay. Now generally, if a person who has been elected, okay, a person who has been elected, let's assume from Bagalkot, Gaddi Gaudar. So if he switches his party from BJP to Congress, okay, so will he be subjected to anti-defection? Yes, he'll be subjected to anti-defection. Okay, whether he joins tomorrow or after 6 months, he'll be subjected to anti-defection. It means he can be removed from the Lok Sabha. He can be removed from the Lok Sabha. But let's assume Sachin Tendulkar, he is a nominated member of Rajya Sabha. So today he will become a nominated member, and next day itself, if he becomes a member of BJP or Congress, so will he be subjected to anti-defection? No. Okay. After 6 months, initial for 6 months, he'll keep quiet. After 6 months, if he switches to BJP or Congress, then yes, for initial 6 months, they will not be subjected to anti-defection. But after 6 months, they can be subjected to anti-defection. So this is in case of nominated member. Okay, nominated member. So in the first statement, the law specifies that a nominated legislator cannot join any political party within 6 months. False. Okay, he can join any political party. Can join within 6 months. Okay, without being affected by the anti-defection law. Okay, so which schedule deals with the anti-defection law? Okay, it is dealt by 10th schedule. So this 10th schedule was added during the prime ministership of whom? Yes, Rajiv Gandhi. Very important. Okay, so Rajiv Gandhi. 9th schedule was added. Jawaharlal Nehru. Next 11th schedule. PV Narasimha Rao. 12th schedule. Narasimha Rao. Okay. The law does not provide any time frame within which the presiding officer has to decide a defection case. Yes, so this is the law. This is the loophole which has been used repeatedly, and the very famous state is Karnataka. Okay, because of this provision, what they will do is, so defections they take a lot in Karnataka. Okay, so there is no time frame. So now when it comes to defection, who will decide this case?
Speaker.
The presiding officer. In case of Lok Sabha, it will be speaker. In case of Rajya Sabha, it will be chairman. Okay. In case of states also, it will be speaker or chairman. Okay, depends. The next, when it comes to disqualification of a member, there are various grounds of disqualification. One is constitutional grounds. For example, if he does not satisfy the criteria related to age, or if he is insolvent. So all those criteria are there. Now based upon that, when a person is being disqualified as a member of either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, so who has that power to disqualify? Yes, it is president. So in all the other cases, it is the president who has the power to disqualify a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. But in case of defection, okay, defection is the only example, okay, only example wherein a person can be disqualified from either being a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha based on defection. So that is speaker or the presiding officer. In case of Rajya Sabha, it is chairman. In case of Lok Sabha, it will be speaker. Okay, they will decide. So here the answer is 2 only. 2 only, right? Okay. Does not provide any time frame. See here. Now, time frame related things in 2025 also they have asked. In the context of what? In 2025 they had asked about a time frame, right? So, governor, is there a time frame within which he has to sign the bill or reject the bill? So, recent Supreme Court judgment has come, but we will not take that into account. As per the static, presently there is no time frame within which the president is bound to give his consent or reject the same. Okay, or reject the same. Consider the following statements. Attorney General of India and Solicitor General of India are the only officers of the government who are allowed to participate in the meetings of the Parliament of India. Okay, false. So who can participate in the meetings of the Parliament of India?
Attorney General.
Attorney General. Apart from Attorney General, who can participate? Not CAG. CAG does not have that power. Ministers. Okay, ministers and Attorney General, they enjoy this special privilege. Okay, so why ministers? Because can a minister be can remain as a minister without being a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? Yes, for how many days?
6 months.
For 6 months. So in such a minister can participate in the meetings of both the houses as well as its committees. Similarly, another person who enjoys this power is Attorney General. Okay, Attorney General. So when it comes to Union Executive, who all will come under the Union Executive? President, Vice President, PM, Council of Ministers, Attorney General. How about CAG? No. Okay, very important. Okay, so Union Executive entails all these entities. When we say Parliament, so who all are part of Parliament? Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha and President. So all the parliamentary privileges which extend to Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha similarly extend to President as well, because he is also part of the Parliament. Yes or no? Parliamentary privileges do not extend to President, even though President is part of the Parliament. Then whether President does not have any kind of privileges? He does have some privileges, but those privileges have been mentioned explicitly. So the parliamentary privileges do not extend to President. Okay, President. Whether
allowed to participate in the parliament ministers in the respective houses.
in the respective?
The respective houses.
No, in both the houses. In both the houses. Now, a person who is neither a member of Lok Sabha nor a member of Raj Sabha, if he becomes a minister, okay, if he becomes a minister, he can participate in the discussions of Lok Sabha as well as in Raj Sabha, but without the right to vote. Okay, but a person who is, for example, let's assume Nirmala Sitharaman, she is from Raj Sabha. Now, can she participate in the Lok Sabha discussion? Yes, she can participate. But can she vote there? No. Can she vote in Raj Sabha? Yes, she can vote. Now, person who is neither a member of Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, he can participate in both, but without the right to vote. Now, similarly, Attorney General will participate, but will he have the right to vote? No, he does not have the right to vote. So, with reference to the writs issued by the courts in India, consider the following statements. Again, see, this is a 2022 question. In 23 there was a question of writ. Probably in 2024 also there was a question of writ. Means in the past 4 to 5 years there have been a repeated focus on writs. If you go beyond 2020, 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, there has been no single question on writ. It means now the trend, okay, the trend is on writs. So again the same questions related to writs might reappear. Okay, might reappear. Hence very important. So with reference to writs issued by this courts in India, consider the following statements. So in India, who can issue writs? Court or administrative authorities? Only courts. Only Supreme Court can issue, or High Court can also issue? So only Supreme Court and High Court can issue, or also subordinate courts can issue? So can the subordinate courts be empowered to issue the writs? Who can empower? Parliament or state legislature? Parliament alone can empower the subordinate courts also to issue writs. Okay, issued. When it comes to writ jurisdiction, so who has a wider jurisdiction? Supreme Court or High Court? High Court. Okay, High Court. Next, which are the important writs? Habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, certiorari. So the higher court will tell to the lower court that you stop the case and send it to us, which is that writ. So you just stop proceeding with that case. Certiorari, what happens? You stop doing it, you transfer it to us. In case of prohibition, you just stop proceeding in that. Okay, stop proceeding in that. Okay. So next, issued by courts, consider the following. Mandamus. So mandamus, can it be issued against only courts or also other administrative authorities? Mandamus will not lie against a private organization unless it is entrusted with the public duty. Okay, so this is very actually confusing. In the examination hall, it will confuse us. We'll go to second. Mandamus will not lie against a company, even though it may be a government company. True or false?
False.
So mandamus will not lie against a government company, against a company, even though it may be a government company. Okay, it is false. Okay, so it can be issued against a government company. Can it be issued against a private company? Mandamus? No, it can be issued only against a government company. Any public-minded person can be a petitioner to move to the court to obtain the writ of quo warranto. Okay. Among the 6 various writs, in which kind of writ any public-minded person can go and approach the court? This is an exception. Only in quo warranto. Okay, only in quo warranto. What is quo warranto? Any public office, if anyone occupies. So you will ask with what authority, with what power you are sitting over here. So this is possible only in case of quo warranto. So third one is correct. Okay, third one is correct. Second one is wrong. Right. So 2 is wrong. Okay, 1 and 3. Now coming to 1. Mandamus will not lie against a private organization unless it is entrusted with a public duty. Can a private organization be entrusted with a public duty?
Yes.
Yes, example.
TC road making.
Okay, road making can be an example. So it's a public duty. Okay, it's a public duty. Next, the famous example which we consider often is the issuing of passport. Okay, so that passport issuing services has been entrusted to TCS. Okay, it's a private organization, but doing what? Public duty. Okay, public duty. So in such case, even a writ can be issued against TCS as well. Okay, TCS as well. Even though it's a private organization, it's doing a public duty. So see here, as it is verbatim from Lakshmikant, if you read, sometimes you will not be able to answer the question. But at least by using some points, by using the fourth point, by coming to a conclusion that second point is wrong, you can arrive at answer. Okay, you can arrive at answer. So relatively, when you compare to 2023 paper, so 22 was easy. Okay, 22 was easy. So in this context, what you will do? You will prepare again all of them. Okay, mandamus, quo warranto, certiorari, prohibition, all of them. So with reference to Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, consider the following. In the previous few discussions also, we saw questions related to Speaker, at least 1 or 2 questions related to Speaker. So here we have a question related to Deputy Speaker. As per the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Lok Sabha, the election of Deputy Speaker shall be held on such a date as the Speaker may fix. So we know clearly. Okay, Deputy Speaker's date of election is fixed by Speaker. Who fixes the date of election of Speaker? President. Now, don't go for overthinking, like as per the rules of procedure or as per the constitution. Okay, it is means don't overthink whether it has been mentioned in constitution or rules of procedure. Whether this is correct or not, yes, Deputy Speaker shall be held on date as a Speaker may fix. It's the same question if they make like this. As per the Constitution of India, the election of Deputy Speaker shall be held on such date as a Speaker may fix. Then you have to think. It may go wrong, okay, because such detailed aspects they might have not mentioned in the constitution, they might be mentioned in the rules, but when they are given about the rules, don't overthink. When they are given as per the constitution, generally that statement will be wrong. Generally, okay, 90% of the times that statement will be wrong. Here you will not do that overthinking exercise. Okay, first one is correct. There is a mandatory provision that the election of a candidate as a Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha shall be from either the principal opposition party or the ruling party. Okay, there is a mandatory provision that the election of a candidate as Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha shall be from either the principal opposition party or the ruling party. There is no such mandation. Okay, what we have seen is the person who is being elected as a Deputy Speaker, he comes from opposition party, and that it is not mandatory. It is a convention that is being followed. So altogether, this statement what true is false. Okay, false. Next, the Deputy Speaker has the same power as a Speaker when presiding over the sitting of the House, and no appeal lies against his rulings. True or false? True. Okay, we have seen. So, whether a Deputy Speaker's post is considered as a subordinate to Speaker's post?
No.
No. Just in the absence of Speaker, Deputy Speaker will play the presiding role, but he is not considered as a subordinate to Speaker. Hence, it is correct. Okay, correct. Now, other things. Deputy Speaker, if he wants to resign, to whom he will submit his resignation? Speaker. Now, Speaker, when he wants to submit his resignation, to whom he will submit his resignation? Deputy Speaker.
Sir, second option, sir, they are told mandatory in either ruling or opposition party. Either between ruling or opposition party, there should be a.
There is a mandatory provision that the election of a candidate as a Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha shall be from either the principal opposition party or the ruling party. Okay, it's a see. He is not from the ruling party, not from the opposition party. There is some more other person who belongs to other party is very good. So both of them, if they decide we should make them as a Deputy Speaker, they can make. Okay, there is no compulsory Deputy Speaker. Right now there is no Deputy Speaker. Almost from the past how many years? 17th and 18th Lok Sabha, we do not have Deputy Speaker itself. Okay, there is no such provision. And mandatory, okay, that mandatory word itself is wrong, because there is no such mandatory things which are present. And if they were present, then we would have gone through the or whatever the discussions we made with respect to Parliament and all. There we would have come across. Then also it will be wrong. There is a convention that the election of a candidate as Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha shall be from either the principal opposition party or the ruling party. That will also be wrong. Now, if they make a statement like this, there is a convention that the election of a candidate as a Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha shall be from the opposition party. I will remove this. Shall be from the opposition party. Then it will be correct. Okay, then it will be correct. But whatever the options you have framed, such option they are not going to frame. Okay, they are not, either they frame the option like this or whatever the option they are framed in this fashion. Okay, in that fashion they are not going to frame the option. Next, the well-established parliamentary practice regarding the appointment of deputy speaker is that the motion is moved by the speaker and duly seconded by the prime minister. Okay, so this duly moved and seconded, this exists only in case of what? Whose election? President's election. Okay, in no other election such kind of what rules exist. So fourth one is also wrong. Okay, wrong. Sometimes we'll start asking questions to ourselves. Probably it might be missing in Lakshmikant. Okay, it might be present in D.D. Basu. Okay, or some Kashyap, some kind of books which I might have not read. So see, already this is a wonderful book, already we have compiled. So we'll stick to that material, and whatever you have read, you should be confident about that. So you have nowhere come across this fourth point. So you should come to a conclusion that it is wrong. Okay, it is wrong. So here, what's the answer? 1 and 3. Okay, 1 and 3. Yes. In the government of India Act 1919, the functions of the provincial government were divided into reserved and transfer subjects. Which of the following were treated as reserved subjects? Means on reserved subjects, who can make the laws? Governor, by being responsible to the legislature or without being responsible to the legislature? Without being responsible to the legislature. So here this is a question is very tricky because in traditional Lakshmikant it is not present, but I added few points by going through the original act itself. So here you will separate what? Reserve list subjects. Which are the reserve list subjects? Yes. Land revenue. Administration of justice. And police. I just made a list. Let's go through that list. In our notes I have made a list. Police is there. So which all points are reserved? See, again I have made 2. One is reserved and transferred in case of 1919 Act. Another one is 1935 Act. Okay. Here as per the 1919 Act, which are the reserved subjects? Administration of justice. Next. Land revenue. Police. Okay. So 1, 2 and 1, 3 and 4. Okay. So here similarly the same question you will go for what? Government of India Act 1935. So which are the reserved subjects here? Defense, foreign affairs. One is what? Ecclesiastical affairs. Next is tribal affairs. Okay, you'll become perfect because in the recent past they asked on both of them in Government of India Act 1919 as well as Government of India Act 1935. So it's related to diarchy. Okay, it's related to diarchy. So here in 1919, diarchy was introduced at the provinces. In 1935, diarchy was introduced at the at the center. Okay, at the center. So you need not focus on what? Transfer subjects. Once you are aware of the reserved subjects and if you eliminate them, automatically you will come across what? Transfer subject. From this example, you can conclude that local self-government is a reserved subject or transfer subject. It's a transfer subject. Okay, it's a transfer subject. Next. So if a particular area is brought under the 5th schedule of the Constitution of India, which of the following statements best reflects the consequences of it? Okay. So this would prevent the transfer of land of tribal people to non-tribal people. This would create a local self-governing body. This would convert that area into a union territory. The state having such areas would be declared a special category state. Okay. What's the answer here? So we already know it is what? It will prevent the transfer of land of tribal people to non-tribal people. Okay, non-tribal people. Now next, just based on this question, you will revise about the 5th schedule. Okay, so 5th schedule, as per the 5th schedule, they consist of scheduled areas or tribal areas? They consist of scheduled areas. Who has the power to declare an area as a scheduled area? President. See here, already we have witnessed, we have encountered these concepts multiple times in the previous few discussions. But again, we will reread the concept here. Because of this, a repeated revision will take place. Okay, so who has the power to declare an area as a scheduled area? President. When president is declaring an area as a scheduled area, what is the maximum administrative area that can be declared as a scheduled area? District. What is the minimum administrative area which can be what designated as a scheduled area? What? Cluster of villages. Okay, cluster of villages. Next, how many states have scheduled areas? 10 states have scheduled areas. Okay, so now who can declare that an act of parliament will extend to scheduled area or will extend with some modifications?
Governor.
Governor or president?
Governor.
Governor. In case of tribal areas?
Tribal is
Governor for Assam.
Yes, except Assam. So see, all those things, again you'll revise, because those are the points of confusion. Okay, those are the points of confusion, repeatedly you'll focus. So when it comes to Panchayat Raj, so will it extend to the scheduled areas?
No, sir.
Okay, whether there is any special provision has been made to extend the provisions to scheduled areas? Yes, which is the act? PESA Act. Unlike the Panchayat Raj, in case of, as per the PESA, which body has been made powerful? The Panchayat or the Gram Sabha? Gram Sabha. Especially they have special powers with respect to which kind of minerals? Minor minerals. Which kind of produce?
Minor forest.
Minor forest produce. That minor forest produce term has been defined in Indian Forest Act. In which act it has been defined? Forest Rights Act. So in this session, you should be able to go beyond the context and connect all the dots. Okay, and connect all the dots. Okay. Next, while going through this content, prevent local self-government. So whether local self-governing body is created in this area. So during this discussion of scheduled area, do we come across such kind of concepts? No. In case of tribal area,
Tribal advisor.
yes, we create. There we have a tribal advisor council and all. So that difference we will see. So what is the difference between the administration of scheduled area and tribal area? So local body can be created in case of tribal areas, but not here. Okay, not here. Next, this would convert that area into a union territory. So this is dummy option. Next, the state having such areas would be declared as a special category state. Okay, here in this context, we need to understand what are special category states. So they, again, in Lakshmikant not mentioned, but a very important topic which appears in the newspaper. So special category states. What are special category states? You can just explore and add few lines pertaining to special category states. And which are the states in India which have been given the designation of special category states? Special category states. Yes.
special provisions for others.
No, not special provisions. Don't get confused with 371 A, B, C. No. Apart from that, there are some other states which have been given the designation of what? Special category states. Okay. Don't get confused with the 371 A, B, C, and so on. Okay. Already, I think this question we discussed during discussion of what history. So this is a current affairs based question. Okay. Mittakshara and Dayabaga. So current affairs based system. Okay. So this they deal with what? Inheritance. Inheritance already we have discussed. You can just refer to the same question. We adopted a parliamentary system. I think we came to 2021. 22 questions are over. This was the last 22 question. Okay, it is 21 itself. Okay, 21. We adopted parliamentary democracy based on the British model. But how does our model differ from that model? As regards legislation, the British Parliament is supreme or sovereign, but in India the power of the Parliament to legislate is limited. True or false? Okay, so in which topic we have discussed about these things? Parliamentary system. So whether British Parliament is supreme? Yes. When it comes to India, it is supreme with respect to judiciary. So which country has judiciary as supreme? USA. In India? It's a synthesis of both. So the power of the Parliament to legislate is limited. So what are the limitations? Fundamental rights. Next. So we'll write here. So fundamental right is a limitation. Judicial review is the limitation. Next. Written nature of the constitution is a limitation. Next. Supremacy of the, not supremacy of the constitution. One more reason is there. Four reasons are very important. One is fundamental rights, judicial review, independent judiciary. Yes, independent judiciary is one of the reasons. Okay. So in the examination next they may ask which of the following constitute the limitation on the sovereign power of the Parliament. So these four things we should be able to identify. Okay. We should be able to. Fundamental rights, judicial review,
Independent.
judiciary, written nature of the constitution. In India, matters related to the constitutionality of the amendment of an act of the Parliament are referred to a constitution bench by the Supreme Court. So this is very important. So this is a topic pertaining to Supreme Court and High Court. Okay. So constitutionality of the amendment of an act of Parliament. It means they are referring to what process? Judicial review. Okay, they are referring to judicial review. So act of the Parliament, again judicial review, it can be applied to both legislative enactments as well as executive actions as well. But here they are referring to legislative enactments. So constitutionality of the amendment of an act of the Parliament are referred to the constitutional bench. Okay, so they are referred to constitutional bench. So constitutional bench consists of how many members? Okay, 5 or more than 5 members. Okay, 5 or more than 5 members by the Supreme Court. Now, whether matters related to constitutionality of the amendment of an act of the Parliament can also be taken by High Court.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Because the power of judicial review exists with the High Court as well. But the only difference is that the power of judicial review has been explicitly conferred on the Supreme Court, whereas the power of judicial review has not been explicitly conferred on the High Court.
Both are explicit.
Both are explicitly conferred. Then the power to review its own judgment.
Only Supreme Court.
Whether both of them enjoy?
Yes.
Yes, but it has been explicitly conferred only on the Supreme Court, but on High Court it has not been explicitly conferred, but it also enjoys the power to review its own judgment. So judicial review is different from reviewing its own judgment. Okay, reviewing its own judgment. Okay.
Judicial activism.
Judicial activism is slightly different. Okay, not that important. Judicial activism is the laws are supposed to be made by Parliament. Okay, but as the Parliament has not made any kind of laws, so Supreme Court will start making the laws. That's an example of what? Judicial activism. Okay, example, Vishaka guidelines. So Vishaka guidelines were brought in the context of a rape case which took place in Rajasthan, right? Yes. Not Nirbhaya. Vishaka guidelines was given much before Nirbhaya. So in Rajasthan, I think exactly here I don't know. One rape incident which came, it is called as Vishaka. Okay. At that time, Supreme Court framed the guidelines called as Vishaka guidelines. For a long duration, the Vishaka guidelines were there, but later on, the Parliament brought a law. What was that law called as? Protection of Women from what? Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act. Okay. This was brought to overcome that judicial activism. So judicial activism was framing the rules and regulations which the legislature was supposed to do. Okay, supposed to do. But again, that topic not that important. Just one line if you understand also it is sufficient. Judicial activism. Next, with reference to the union government, consider the following statements. N. Gopalswamy Iyengar committee suggested that a minister and a secretary be designated solely for pursuing the subject of administrative reform and promoting it. In 1970, the Department of Personnel was constituted on the recommendation of the Administrative Reforms Commission, and this was placed under the Prime Minister's charge. So this question is a bit tough because in Lakshmikant will not find it. Okay, so whatever the answer is there for the previous year, based upon that we'll prepare accordingly. Okay, but one important commission which many of them mention is Administrative Reforms Commission. So if you are watching the videos of some of the toppers, generally they mention that you have to read the ARC report. Okay, so based on their guidelines, I too took the PDF of ARC. So how many pages are there in ARC? Almost 1000 pages, I guess. So it is practically not possible either for us or any of the topper to go through each and every line. But I too extracted some material from the ARC report. So wonderful quotes of Mahatma Gandhiji. Okay, so you can extract those quotes and you can use in mains, but you cannot prepare it holistically as we prepare Lakshmikant, as we prepare some other sources. Okay, so ARC report is very important. Okay, very important. In that context, some brainstorming and extra information of what ARC we shall add it. Otherwise, we'll not focus much on it. Okay, much on it. So what is the official answer key here? Whether it's 1 and 2, I am not sure. Okay. Otherwise, just look into it. 2021 question, not pure static polity part. Okay, polity part. See again here, same question. So right to privacy is protected under which article of the Constitution of India? Which article? Article number 21. So which are the other such articles which have been interpreted, other such rights which have been interpreted under article number 21? The famous rights. Right to marry a person of one's choice. Next, right to environment. So all of them have been interpreted under article number 21. So you need not prepare the exhaustive list which is present in Lakshmikant. Okay, you just focus on 2 or 3 important rights. Okay, article number 15 deals with prohibition of discrimination on grounds of race, religion, caste, sex or place of birth. Article number 19, freedom of speech and expression, and the 6 sub rights you will recall, and also the limitations. Okay, they are not absolute. Okay, so what are the limitations that we will prepare? Article number 29, cultural and educational rights. 29, 30. 29 deals with establishment of educational institutes. True or false?
Cultural minority.
Okay, 30 deals with establishment of educational institutions. So this deals, article number 29 deals with what kind of minority? Only religious minority or also linguistic minority? Both religious minority as well as linguistic minority. So at this superficial level, you will prepare the other articles which are appeared here. And in this context, if you revise the entire fundamental rights from 12 to 35 also, it is okay. Okay. So which article deals with the definition of state? Okay, 12th. Next, provides for the judicial review. 13. Okay, 13. Next, okay, this is a very tricky question which has appeared in 2021.
Last month, sir, January next, sir, was on the front page name on the sir. Right to life under Article 21 includes the right to menstrual health and
Okay.
Next, right to free and compulsory education under Article 21A includes free sanitary napkins in school and kindergarten.
Okay, it can be added. See, if it has come as part of the news, so sometimes we might have not gone through current affairs. So you can just note that point. I think whatever she has prepared a wonderful notes, I will be sharing it with you. All those who required, you can just go through it, because rather than referring the current affairs of other institutes, which is too bulky, so she has invested her effort and prepared as per the exams demand. Okay, as per the exams demand. So if you want, I urge you to go through that content rather than referring the current affairs of some other institute. Okay, start. I think you have shared with me. I'll be sharing it with you as well. So those who want, you can just take it. In India, there is no law restricting the candidates from contesting in one Lok Sabha election from 3 constituencies. Okay. See how the question is tricky. First, we shall go through the question. What mistake generally we can commit or will commit. In 1991 Lok Sabha election, Sridevi Lal contested from 3 Lok Sabha constituencies. As per the existing rules, if a candidate contests in one Lok Sabha election from many constituencies, his or her party should bear the cost of by-elections to the constituencies vacated by him or her. In the case of event of him or winning in all the constituencies. If a person, if he contests at 2 places, okay, for example, Modi contested in Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh, so he won at both the places. So the place which he is going to vacate, that is Gujarat. So should he bear the cost? If that is the case, then no one will contest in 2 constituencies. So that bearing of cost is very much obvious. Okay, so we'll eliminate it. What we'll do? We'll eliminate 3. So when we eliminate 3, we are left with what? 1 only or 2 only. Okay, 1 only or 2 only. Now when we come to 1 only or 2 only, in India there is no law restricting the candidate from contesting in one Lok Sabha election from more than 3 constituencies. Okay. Next, Sridevi Lal contested from 3 Lok Sabha constituencies. So second one can be true only if first one is true. Second one can be true only if first one is true. Okay. It means second one being true and first one being false. Okay. First one being false is not possible. Okay. Is not possible. So it means second one is false, first one is correct. So this is logically which we in this fashion we will try to draw the inference, but the answer is completely different. Why it is different? Second one is correct, first one is wrong. Because in 1991 we don't know about what Sridevi Lal, he contested at 3 places, that may be also be correct. But after that rules were changed. Now the present rules say that a person cannot contest in more than 2 constituencies. So hence in India there is no law restricting the candidate from contesting in one Lok Sabha election from 3 constituencies. False. There is a law which restricts it. Which is a law? RP Act, Representation of People Act. It says that a person can maximum contest from 2 constituencies and not more than that. But this law, it was brought in the 1995 or somewhere afterwards. So before that there were people who contested from multiple constituencies, and one such example is what? 2. Okay, 2. Now for this content, from where do we extract the content? So probably I have not shared in this notes, but later on I will be sharing. So Representation of People Act. Okay. So there are some FAQ. So from the standard website itself, I have taken the FAQ. I will be sharing it with you. Okay, I will be sharing it with you. So there are some important aspects which we shall focus. A person cannot contest for more than 2 constituencies. Okay. And next, some data related to star campaigners and all are there, but UPSC will not focus on all those levels. But there are some other points which are important. A person who has been sentenced for any kind of crime that he has committed, so whether he will be barred for the entire life from contesting in the election? Okay. For how many years he will be barred? For 6 years. Okay. He can be barred for 6 years if he has been punished for more than 2 years. Okay. From the day the punishment ends, from that day onwards, 6 years will start. After 6 years, again he can contest an election. Okay, he can contest election. So those things we can note. Okay, we can note. So again, this question is very tricky. With reference to India, consider the following statements. So again, from traditional Lakshmikant we cannot answer, but day-to-day basis when we are reading newspaper, many times we'll encounter this term. We'll encounter a term called as judicial custody. We'll encounter the term called as police custody. We'll encounter the term called as FIR. Okay. So zero FIR. There are so many other terms. So these terms, at least basic awareness we need to have. Okay, we need to have. In the previous discussions, we saw about the prison related thing. So who will manage them and all. So similarly in that context, judicial custody means accused is in the custody of the concerned magistrate, and such accused is locked up in the police station and not in jail. Okay. So initially we don't know the difference between jail and police station. We just feel that places are different. Okay. In both the places we have bars. Okay. But that is different here. So in police station, when you give the custody of the accused to police station, what happens? If you give to the police station, okay, if you hand over them to the police, then the police will use all the methods to extract the truth. Okay, so hence people who are accused, they will be always pleading, don't give a police custody, please give me to judicial custody, so that he can be kept in jail. Okay, so in jail means when all the other criminals are already, see in jail, whether people who have been sentenced, only they will be present in jail or also others will be present? Others. So in jail, one, those who have been sentenced, already punishment has been given, and also at the same time we have under trials, means still the judgment has not been given, still the trial is going on. Okay, trial is going on. Now judicial custody means an accused is in the custody of the concerned magistrate. So once a person has been arrested, okay, once a person has been arrested, there is a rule that within how many hours he has to be, within 24 hours he has to be taken to a magistrate. The magistrate will decide whether he has to give the person to judicial custody or police custody. So police will be pleading that please giving for police custody. Okay, but the accused will be saying, I don't want police custody, I want judicial custody. Okay, so judicial custody, because in judicial custody he will be in jail. Okay, in case of police custody he will be in the police station. So here the first part is right. Judicial custody means the accused is in the custody of the concerned magistrate, correct, and such accused is locked up in jail and not in police station. Okay, hence the first statement is wrong. First statement is wrong. So if the person is in jail and if the police want to interrogate, so can they directly go to jail and interrogate? No. First they have to take the permission of the magistrate, then they have to take that person and then they can interrogate. So during judicial custody, the police officer in charge of the case is not allowed to interrogate the suspect without approval of the court. Okay, true. So second statement is correct. So in this context, judicial custody, police custody, FIR, and next there are few other terms which appear in the newspaper. Again, it is not required for you to become perfect in both IPC, all the sections. Just few important words which appear. Okay, that would be sufficient. Okay, that would be sufficient. So now, while reading newspaper and all, you come across a report called zero FIR. What is zero FIR?
Registering somewhere.
Okay, so always when any kind of incident takes place, so you have to register the complaint in the jurisdiction of there is some police station which has a jurisdiction of that area. Okay, but in case of zero FIR, you can register the complaint anywhere. That is called as what? Zero FIR. Okay, in that fashion, any other things which appear in the newspaper, we shall concentrate on the same. Okay, we shall focus on the same.
Sir, the last question about three constituencies.
About?
Three constituencies.
Okay, three constituencies. That question was dropped. The question itself was dropped. There is no answer given. Okay, but anyhow, we don't know about the Sridevi Lal. Okay, that he is immaterial. But first statement, we are sure that there is a law which prohibits from contesting in more than two constituencies, and that is Representation of People Act. Okay, People Act. And third statement is also wrong because no one will bear the expenses. Okay, no one will bear the expenses. See here, in the previous class we discussed about the prison. So one more question has appeared in 2021. The trend has continued. Okay, so prison comes under which list? State list. Electricity, education, defense, health, okay, police, prison. Okay. When a prisoner makes out a sufficient case, payroll cannot be denied to such prisoner because it becomes a matter of his or her right. Okay. State governments have their own prisoners release on payroll rules. Okay. So here we need to understand what is payroll. What is payroll?
Holidays.
Holidays. Okay. So these holidays, payroll cannot be denied to such. So why this appeared? Because in the context of bail, see here again another term which I am able to recall. So you saw judicial custody, you saw police custody. Next we saw FIR, we saw bail. Okay. Again it comes to bail. There are different types of offences: non-bailable offences, bailable offences. So what is the difference? Bailable offence, non-bailable offence, in that fashion. Okay. So similarly payroll. Now in the context of UAPA, sometimes article used to appear. So whether a person can get a payroll, no sorry, what is the difference between payroll or other term along with payroll? See, a person going on bail and payroll, whether both of them are same or different? Different. Okay. In case of bail, still sentencing has not taken place. Still he is then under trial. In case of payroll, already sentencing has been done and he is in jail. So at least these basic terms we need to know. Okay. We need to know. So whether bail is a matter of right. So see, in this context, you will search like this: whether bail is a matter of right, whether payroll is a matter of right. Okay. These will you will understand. Whether bail is given by the police authorities or the judiciary. Payroll is given by the jail authorities or the judiciary. Jail authorities. So these basic things we'll understand. Okay, we'll understand, because we cannot become perfect in every aspect, but at least these basic things will become perfect. So in the first case, when a prisoner makes out a sufficient case, payroll cannot be denied to such a prisoner because it becomes a matter of his or right. No, it does not become a matter of his or her right. Okay, he cannot claim it. But bail, in some cases, he can claim it as a matter of right. In some cases, not in all the cases. In UAPA case, he cannot claim it as a matter of right. Okay, but in some other cases, he can claim. Okay, state governments have their own prisoners release on payroll rules. Yes. Yes, one more is furlough. What is furlough? Difference between furlough and payroll?
Long term.
Okay, furlough is
For long term.
long term. Furlough is for long term.
No, furlough is long.
Okay, just cross verify. All of you just cross verify. Payroll is for short term or long term?
Payroll is temporary.
Payroll is temporary. Furlough is for
Long term.
long term. Okay, so that will add. So here payroll, one more is furlough. See, just around 7 to 8 terms. Again, don't do a PhD on this, making a list of all the various words which are present in IPC or CRPC. No, these are the famous words which repeatedly appear in the newspaper. We'll only focus on those words. Okay, so we'll focus on judicial custody, police custody, payroll, furlough. One more thing you mentioned, bail. Okay, FIR. So bailable, non-bailable offence, all those things. So what's the answer here? 2 only. Okay, 2 only. So at the national level, which of the following ministry is the nodal agency to ensure effective implementation of the what scheduled tribes? Okay, Forest Rights Act 2006. Who is the ministry? Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Okay, Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Okay. So when it comes to tribes, how many different tribes are present in India? That is PVTGs, primitive vulnerable tribal groups. 705, approximately 705. So which state has the highest number of tribes? Madhya Pradesh. Population wise, which state has the highest number of tribes? You'll search it, at least to take it as a question. Okay. Which state has the highest number of tribes? Next, which tribe is the largest tribal group? Whether it is Santal or any group, means which tribal group has the largest population? Okay, largest population. Next, similarly, you'll do it for PVTGs. How many PVTGs are there in India? 75. They are spread across how many states and union territories? 18 plus 1 or 18 includes union territory? 18 plus 1. So, which is the union territory where they are present? Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Which are the PVTGs present in Andaman and Nicobar Islands? Sentinel is? Jarawa. Oranges. Okay. So, we'll focus on Shrompens. Okay. Which are the 18 states in which PVTGs are present? You should be able to identify the state. You are not expected to identify the tribal groups. They may be present in every state. But you will focus on PVTGs. Which are the 18 states where they are present? And which state hosts highest number of PVTGs? Which state hosts the highest number of PVTGs? Next, which state has the highest proportion of tribes? In Karnataka, if you take, there are some tribes, the percentage may be 5%, 2%, 3%. Which state has the highest population is different. Which state has the highest proportion of tribes? Which state has the highest proportion of tribes? Okay, tribes. Next, which state does not have scheduled tribes? Is there any state? You'll search, I don't know, because I'm just giving an idea. Yes? Punjab? Which state has the highest scheduled caste proportion population? Punjab. Okay, Punjab. So, based on this question, you will do the entire exercise for what? Entire exercise for the scheduled tribes. Okay, scheduled tribes. So, largest population, smallest population, largest group, smallest group, PVTs, highest population, highest state. So, whichever question comes to you, you will just, that's why I given the space. You can add it.
Sir, the highest population with proportion are
Now in Karnataka and Maharashtra, okay, let's assume in Karnataka and Maharashtra there are population is 200, okay, Karnataka population is 100. So in Karnataka scheduled tribe, okay, so they are around, let's assume 70, okay, 70. In Maharashtra, the scheduled caste, totally they are 90. So highest number of scheduled tribes are present in which state? Maharashtra. Okay, out of 90. If you compare 70 and 90, 90 is more here. But when you consider proportion of population, so 90 means it is close to what? 45 or 46%. But here 70 means 70%. So here the proportion of scheduled tribe is more in case of Karnataka as compared to Maharashtra. So also in this context, you will revise this act, FRA Act. So which are different types of rights which have been recognized under FRA? Habitat rights. Next, title rights, community rights. Community rights are there or not? Yes, community rights also exist. Next, relocation rights, habilitation rights, they all exist. So who are considered as PVTGs? So in PVTG Act, what is one generation? So if some people have resided in the forest area for a minimum of 3 generations, then they will be entitled for such kind of rights. So to calculate 3 generation, so there should be the number of periods for one generation. What is one generation? 25 years. Okay. For 75 years, if they have continuously stayed in that area, then they will be entitled for the forest rights. So we have discussed about the forest rights under environment. So we will go through the content. Okay. Forest Rights Act, you will revise. Okay. We will revise. Next, under this context, who are the first tribes to get some kind of rights? Who got first habitation rights? Who got first what? Community rights. Okay. So probably in 2019 or 18 they asked a question also. Baigas. So Baigas first time they got what kind of rights? Habitation rights. In that fashion, out of curiosity, you will just add some information here. Add some information. Okay. A legislation which confers on the executive or the administrative authority an unguided and uncontrolled discretionary power in the matter of application of law, violates which of the following articles of the Constitution of India. So this is also a bit tricky. Okay. So here we will often get confused. Okay. First we look into article number 14 deals with equality before law and equal protection of laws. Article number 28 deals with one of the part of freedom of religion. Okay, freedom of religion. Article number 44, Uniform Civil Code. Okay, so we'll eliminate 28 and 44. Now we are stuck between 14 and 32. So 14, equality before law and equal protection of laws. 32, constitutional remedies. So we can issue writs and all. Now, a legislation which confers the executive or the administrative authority an unguided and uncontrolled discretionary power in the matter of application of law. Okay, so when they are applying the law, discretionary power means as per their wish they can apply the law. So which article they will violate?
14.
Article number 14. So article number 14 says equality before law, equal protection of the laws. So what is equality before law? No discrimination. Equal protection of laws. So when Ambani has done a mistake, then a law will be different. Okay. When some ordinary people will commit some mistake, for them law will be different. So now you are not equally protecting the law. In the same scenario, okay, in the similar kind of scenarios, different laws are being applied, but you should apply the same law. Okay. So again, that is what arbitrariness means. Based on your wish, you are applying the laws. So that should not happen. So here, article number 14. So here, confusion will also take place with respect to article number 32 as well. Because when someone uses the power arbitrarily, then it may, what? it may violate or compromise the fundamental rights. At that time, to uphold the fundamental rights, you will go for constitutional remedies. Okay, remedies by filing the writs. So this may also cause confusion. But here, article number 14. So article number 14, you will prepare in detail. So there we have come across various terms called as rule of law. Okay, so rule of law we have taken from where? So which are the features of rule of law? Whether all the features we have extracted or there are some features which we have not extracted?
One feature.
Which feature?
Constitution.
Yes. So constitution is the source of all the power.
That we not result of
Constitution is not the result of an
Primacy.
primacy of the constitution. Have we accepted or not accepted?
Not accepted.
Not accepted. What we have accepted? Constitution is the source of individual rights, or all the individual rights together becomes constitution. Constitution is the source of individual rights. So whether it is part of rule of law? No. So here article number 14, you will go through it. Very important, because this question has appeared, they can go to a deeper level. So in the previous question also we have seen studies discussion. So procedure established by and due process of law. Okay, so that also comes under article number 21 as well, discussion. So these things, article number 14 and 21, you'll go in detail. Okay, you'll go in detail. Which one of the following in Indian polity is an essential feature that indicates that it is federal in character? So this question can be answered with the content of which topic? Which is topic name? Federal system. The topic name itself is federal system. So in the federal system topic, we have listed the features, federal features. So will you be able to recall the federal features? Written constitution, rigidity of the constitution, or flexibility of the constitution? Rigidity of the constitution. What do we understand by rigidity of the constitution? Difficult to amend the few provisions of the constitution. Next. Bicameralism is a federal feature. Yes. Next. Independent judiciary. So if you list all those entities here, we do not require the sub points, but at least superficial points if we are able to list, then what happens? Such points very easily we will be able to answer. Okay. So here what is the answer? The independence of the judiciary is safeguarded. Okay, safeguarded. So we need to know about federal features. Okay, federal features. Next, apart from the federal features, you will also list unitary features, because you should be able to distinguish. So whether the Indian constitution has any kind of unitary features, or all the features are federal. There are unitary features as well. So you'll make a list of unitary features. Federal features, unitary feature. Okay, unitary feature. And one example of a unitary feature: single citizenship. Next. Yes. Strong center. Next. Flexibility of the constitution. Good. Yes. All India services. Good. Okay. So that list, if you are able to recall, so what you will do, you will write that list once again, so that it will be easy for you at the time of examination. So federal system, and next is parliamentary system. So questions do repeat on federal system and parliamentary system. Again, they are important. But also we need to understand to what level we have to go. Okay. Because in federal, they have given a detailed explanation. That line by line explanation is not important. At least that top line, the heading, what it says. So if you are able to recall, that will help us. Okay, that will help us. Which of the following best defines the term state? So this is very confusing. Okay, very confusing question. But here, for this question, we can answer it through what standard source is history. So in Tamil Nadu, what ancient and modern history, medieval history, which we have compiled, somewhere we came across these terms. Okay, we came across these terms. So if you look at all the options, almost every option it appears the same. But the answer is, so community of persons permanently occupying a definite territory. So there should be some territory. Next, independent of external control. That is, there should be sovereignty. Next, possessing an organized government. Okay, so here all of them are confusing. Okay, so you just focus on this. What are the important aspects of a state? Definite territory, sovereignty, and organized government. Okay, organized government, and persons permanently occupying there. Okay, persons permanently occupying. Okay, So any retired judge of the Supreme Court of India can be called back to sit and act as a Supreme Court judge by the Chief Justice of India with the prior permission of the President of India. Any retired judge of the Supreme Court of India can be called back to sit and act as Supreme Court judge by the Chief Justice of India with prior permission of the President of India. Okay, India. Next, any retired judge of the High Court can also be called. Any retired judge of the, I'll change the statement. Any retired judge of the High Court of India can be called to sit and act as a Supreme Court judge by the Chief Justice of India with the prior permission of the President of India. True or false? Now I'll change the statement. Some retired High Court judges, some retired High Court judges can be called to sit and act as a Supreme Court judge by the Chief Justice of India with the prior permission of the President. True or false? True. Okay. Now I'll remove this some. I'll make it as all. All retired High Court judges. Why it will be false?
Conditions to specify.
They should be qualified to become a judge of the Supreme Court. In such a case, even a retired High Court judge can be called. See, based on this question, you will revise all those things. When it comes to different types of judges, there are judges called as additional judges. Okay. Next, ad hoc judges. Next, acting judges. So that concept, it is really confusing. So we'll go through it. Okay, we'll go through it. Who will call? Chief Justice of India will call, or Chief Justice of a High Court will call. So all those things will become what? It will become established clarity by going through the content. Okay, going through the content. So a High Court in India has the power to review its own judgment. So as I was mentioning, right, has the power to review its own judgment as the Supreme Court does. So this is very confusing. After the question has appeared, we have built a strategy, but in the examination hall, it is really very challenging. Now, if there is a full stop here itself, a High Court in India has the power to review its own judgment. Yes. The answer will be yes. By which power? There is a power of court of record. So using the court of record, so the statement would have been right. But as they have mentioned, as the Supreme Court does, it is false. Why? Because both Supreme Court and High Court have the power to review its own judgment. But Supreme Court has been explicitly given that power and High Court has not been given that power explicitly. So hence, as the Supreme Court does, this second part is wrong. Okay, second part is wrong. Okay. And if you look at Supreme Court and High Court, these lines are present almost in the last page. Last but one page. So by the time the aspirant reaches that page, so he thinks that now significantly I have prepared from High Court, now let us stop. But where we will stop, from there they will start setting the questions. Okay. Hence, we are not going to skip the pages. We are going to skip the concepts. We will prepare the topics which are very much relevant from the exam point of view. Okay. Exam point of view. So what's the answer? One only. Okay. With reference to India, consider the following. There is only one citizenship and one domicile in India. True or false? False. Okay. A citizen by birth only can become the head of state. A citizen by birth only can become the head of the state in India. No. There are two types of citizenship. Citizen by birth and a naturalized citizen. So in India, even a naturalized citizen can become head of state. But there is a restriction. What is the restriction? The state from where he has come. So there also there should be a provision. But again, those detailed aspects are not important. In India, a citizen by birth as well as a naturalized citizen can become head of the state. So hence, 2 is false. Okay, 2 is false. Next, a foreigner once granted a citizenship cannot be deprived of it under any circumstances. False. He can be removed. Now here, if you look at citizenship topic, so bulky it is. So he came on July 1, he left Pakistan, he went to India. So very complex topics, complex things. We are not interested in those things. What we'll understand, which are the different ways of acquiring citizenship? Which are the different ways? By birth, by naturalization, by registration. Next, by descent, acquiring foreign territory, sufficient. Which are the different ways of losing the citizenship? By termination, by deprivation. Next, voluntary. So 3 to 4. Just superficially we will go through each and every line. If you go through, then almost these 3 months you have to spend only on citizenship. Okay, such a complex topic it is. Okay, so retaining the information and all, it's very complex. Now see here, even if you are stuck somewhere also, you are very much sure about the second one. So second one, when you eliminate, you are left with what? 1 only, 1 and 3. So 1 is part of both of them. Only you have to verify about third one. So once granted, the citizenship cannot be deprived. they can be deprived. Even the Indian citizen who is a citizen by birth also, probably he too can be what? Deprived of his citizenship if he helps the enemy nation. Okay, enemy nation. So hence, third statement will eliminate. The answer is 1 only. Okay, 1 only. So this is related to citizenship. Which one of the following factors constitutes the best safeguard of liberty in a liberal democracy? So again, these are very typical questions which we will not be able to answer through our Lakshmikant related content. Okay, so previous year questions and all, we should have that application. So here, liberty in a liberal democracy, it is because of separation of powers. Just we need to understand what is committed judiciary. The judiciary which works as per the expectations of the government. The judiciary is committed to the government. Such a judiciary we call it as committed judiciary. So in committed judiciary, whether an so can any of them ensure liberty? No. No one can act in a free manner because the judiciary is acting in favor of the government. So committed judiciary is not. Centralization of powers. Okay. So when centralization of powers will take place, so what liberty of whom will go? Example, state will go. Okay. Elected government. Okay. Obviously, what safeguard to liberty, it appears true. But also if you look at the answer key, it is 4. So it is 4 answer. Between 3 and 4, the closest option is 4. Separation of powers. Under Indian Constitution, concentration of wealth violates. Concentration of wealth violates. DP, SP. Okay. So here the confusing part is when you read too much. When you read too much, then even DPSP appears false. It appears what? The concept of welfare. The concept of welfare. But here, under the Indian Constitution, explicitly they have mentioned, if they had removed the Indian Constitution, concentration of wealth violates what? Now it will not be DPSP, it will be concept of welfare. Okay, it will be concept of welfare. Now in this context, DPSP, you should be able to recall. So which article to which article? 36 to 51. 36 deals with definition of state. 37, they are enforceable or non-enforceable? They are non-enforceable. Which article says that they are fundamental in the governance of the country? Which one are fundamental in the governance of the country? Fundamental rights or DPSP or fundamental duties or preamble? DPSP. Which article speaks about it? 37. Article number 38 speaks about welfare state. Okay. The state shall strive to promote the welfare of the people. Okay, as much as may be possible. Next, 39. Which are the sub points? Equal pay for equal work. Next, concentration of wealth. Yes, should not lead to the common detrimental. Next, yes, inequality elimination. Next, healthy development of children. Okay, so all those come under 39. 39A, free legal aid. Next, 40, village panchayats. 41, right to work, education and public assistance. 42, maternity. Next, 43, yes, living wages. 43A, participation of workers. 44, civil code. 45, education, promotion of educational and economic interests. 46, okay, SC/ST related promotion. 47, nutrition, enhance the health and nutrition. 48, environment and what? Agriculture. Next, 48A. 48 is what and 48A is? Environment. 48A is protection of environment. 49, monuments. Next, 50, separation of executive from the judiciary. 51, international peace and security. Okay. Next, 51A, fundamental duties. What is the position of the right to property in India? So very important. It has appeared multiple times. If you look at the previous year questions, it has appeared multiple times. So, okay, legal right available to any person. So all fundamental rights are legal rights. True or false? Okay. So all legal rights are fundamental rights. There are some legal rights which are present in the Constitution. Okay. So can the legal right which are present in the Constitution can also be called as a constitutional right? All constitutional rights are fundamental rights. Okay. There are some constitutional rights which can also be called as fundamental rights.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So all fundamental rights are also constitutional rights. Yes. Okay. So these are the confusing terms, and sometimes they'll frame like that. So here, legal right available to any person. So here we have to prepare from what? Fundamental rights available to citizen and not available to citizen. Okay. Fundamental right available to citizen and not available to citizen. In the same topic, what right to property was once a fundamental right. Now it has been removed. Okay, it has been removed, and they have mentioned it has been placed under which article now?
300.
300 and
A.
300A. There they also mentioned that whether it applies to citizens alone or also non-citizens as well. So it applies to non-citizens as well. So this is very important point because many times they asked. Okay, many times they asked. Important. Okay. So it's a legal right available to any person. Okay, any person. Yes. So what was the exact constitutional status of India on 26 January 1950? So here we have the benefit of what? Memorizing the preamble. And next we need to know about which amendment? Okay, if we don't know about 42nd amendment, then it will be difficult. Okay, so which were the terms added to 42nd amendment? Yes, secular, social, integrity. Okay, where is integrity? Okay, so you'll remove this. Now these two, democratic republic, sovereign democratic republic. So what was the exact one? Sovereign democratic republic. So sometimes such easy questions also they will confuse us. Okay, they will confuse us. So in the context of what? In this context, we will revise the entire preamble. Okay, entire preamble. Next, which word has been taken from which country? Which word has been taken from which country? Okay, so justice has been taken from where? Republic has been taken from where? Socialist word has been taken from where? What does this word mean? Okay, so absence of what? Restraints is meant by which word indicates? Liberty. Okay, next, free will. Development as per the liberty itself, it has one more definition. One is absence of restraints. What is another definition? Giving full opportunities for the development of an individual. That is also liberty. Okay, liberty. So liberty, equality. So all those terms we will revise. Okay, we'll revise. Constitutional government means. So see, this question has repeated in 2023 also. What is constitutional government? We will not look into the options itself. A government limited by the terms of the constitution. This is constitutional government. Okay, we will not find in the traditional books, but this is very important. At least 3 to 4 times the question has repeated. Constitutional government means limited government. Okay, limited government. What are limitations? Fundamental rights. Written constitution. All of them. So I think this question already we had listed during the economy also. So whether RBI is a constitutional body? It's not a constitutional body. Hence, there will be no provision in the constitution to give directions to the RBI governor. Okay, RBI governor. So you have discussed this question under polity. Sorry, under economy. So this question also we have discussed under economy. So whether all casual workers are entitled for employees provident fund coverage? No. No. Okay. So here casual workers. Next, what? Contract workers, regular workers. So all those things we have to revise under economics. Okay, under economics. Okay. Bharat Ratna and Padma Awards are titles under the Article 18 of the Constitution of India. Padma Awards, which were instituted in the year 1954, were suspended only once. The number of Bharat Ratna Awards is restricted to a maximum of 5 in a particular year. So these things in the recent past they have undergone some changes. Okay, undergone some changes. So what we will do is, as per the static content of the book, so we can conclude. So Bharat Ratna and Padma Awards are titles under Article number 18.
Yes, sir.
They are not considered as titles because we have there is the abolition of titles. They are not considered as titles. Okay. So Padma Awards, which were instituted in the year 1950, were suspended only once. No, at least 3 times they are suspended. Okay, 3 times they are suspended. So it is mentioned in the book as well as in notes. You can just go through it. The number of Bharat, when you eliminate 1 and 2. So
Sir, one and 2 and 3 and 1.
Not correct.
not correct. Okay, which of the following statements are not correct? So 1 is also not correct, 2 is also not correct. The number of Bharat Ratna awards is restricted to a maximum of actually 3. Previously it was 3, but now in the recent past it has undergone changes. So this third statement we shall cross verify with the recent sources once again. Okay, once again. So as per this question, it is 1, 2 and 3. But the third statement we shall cross verify what are the recent changes that have been introduced. Because in the recent past, multiple members were given what? Bharat Ratna. Okay, Bharat Ratna. So in this context we will revise. So Bharat Ratna. So it is the highest civilian award. Which is second highest civilian award? Padma Vibhushan. Next, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri. Okay, Padma Shri. So with respect to those things, we will just revise. Padma? No, first Padma Vibhushan, then Padma Bhushan, then Padma Shri. Padma Shri. Over? Okay. Which one? Okay, this has been repeated. Okay. So with this, we shall conclude the discussion from 2025 to what? 21. Okay, 21. So probably in the next class we shall discuss some other subject. Okay. So probably we shall start about medieval history. So that was pending. So already we have discussed about ancient, modern as well as Indian national movement. Next we shall discuss at least few questions from what? Medieval history. Okay, medieval history. So we shall close the class today here itself.